A single serious federal safety violation now carries a maximum financial penalty of $16,550. This is the enforcement of the 29 CFR. It functions as a 15,000-page, legally binding structural blueprint that dictates the exact conditions required for survival in American workplaces. These mandates trace back to the Occupational Safety and Health Act of 1970. Before this act, injuries arising from work situations created a massive burden on commerce. Congress established these rules to curb the high cost of lost production, crippling wage loss, and mounting medical expenses. The Act's jurisdictional scope covers private employers nationwide and businesses involved in interstate commerce. On a busy job site, a safety officer who can cite this specific regulatory text from memory holds distinct operational leverage. Mastery of the massive 29 CFR is the ultimate mechanism for asserting authority and preventing catastrophic, life-threatening site failures. To navigate the code, you must understand its high-level mathematical categorization into distinct industry-specific pillars. Part 1910 is the strict regulatory code governing general industry and manufacturing. Part 1926 is the separate code explicitly designed for the construction industry. The predictability of hazards differs between these sectors. Stationary manufacturing environments under 1910 are constant, while construction sites under 1926 are highly transient, with risks that shift as the build progresses. While niche codes like 1915 for maritime and 1928 for agriculture exist, 1910 and 1926 dictate the vast majority of U.S. safety protocols. A procedural failure occurs when an auditor attempts to apply a 1910 manufacturing standard to a 1926 construction site. Citing the incorrect industry code invalidates the audit, leaving the site completely exposed to federal citations. An OSHA standard citation is formatted as a precise alphanumeric address system for engineered safety. The prefix 29 identifies the title for labor, and CFR stands for the Code of Federal Regulations. The part number serves as the industry identifier. In this case, 1910 points to general industry. Subparts denote the broader hazard category. Subpart D, for example, covers walking working surfaces. The specific section number and paragraph letter dictate the exact physical requirement an employer must meet. This hierarchy moves from broad congressional intent down to millimeter-specific engineering tolerances. Fluency in this coordinate system transforms an HSE professional into a precision legal tactician. Statistical data shows that the vast majority of financial risk comes from a highly concentrated subset of repeated hazards. The big four hazard categories, falls, electrocution, struck by, and caught in between, are responsible for the majority of worksite fatalities. We can see this in the preliminary fiscal year 2025 data for the most frequently cited OSHA standards. Fall protection, standard 1926.501, is the #1 violation, with nearly 6,000 citations issued. Hazard communication, 1910.1200, is the second most cited standard, with 2,546 violations. These are followed by violations for ladders and lockout-tagout, grouping these top offenders into a critical failure zone. Powered industrial trucks consistently rank in this top tier due to the high frequency of equipment-related accidents and struck-by hazards. Total citation volume across several major categories showed a slight downward trend from 2024 to 2025. Aggressively engineering controls for the top 3 standards alone mathematically neutralizes roughly 80% of a site's compliance risk. Emerging technologies and unique hazards often lack a specific alphanumeric standard. To address this exact problem, OSHA relies heavily on the General Duty Clause, found in Section 5A1 of the OSHA Act. The mandate is clear. Employers must furnish a workplace free from recognized hazards causing or likely to cause death or serious harm. This clause allows OSHA to issue fines for known dangers, like heat stress, even while a formal rule is still in the drafting process. These are performance-based regulations. They dictate the safe outcome required rather than micromanaging exact engineering methods. Responsibility is shared under Section 5B, which legally requires employees to comply with safety rules and wear provided gear. The General Duty Clause eliminates the defense that there isn't a rule for that, enforcing an absolute baseline of hazard mitigation. For site management, knowledge must transition into strategic application. Treating CFR compliance as the ultimate goal is a mistake. It is simply the legal baseline to avoid prosecution. Site leaders should use OSHA's published letters of interpretation to resolve specific disputes. These letters function as binding precedent, revealing exactly how federal inspectors will apply ambiguous regulations during an audit. This requires rigorous, pristine documentation for all training and hazard abatement. To a federal inspector, undocumented safety actions are invisible. Tell us in the comments which OSHA subpart is the most difficult to manage in your specific industry. To continue mastering these regulations, subscribe to HSE Study and become a proactive architect of workplace survival.